There's a lot to digest and a lot of voices to be heard. Stick to the frequency that amplifies those voices, stories and reports that make the difference. This is Akojopo News, 88.7 FM, the people's voice.
This is Kunle Amzat Studio, Akojopo 88.7 FM. Welcome to News Around the World.
Good evening. Welcome to the news around the world on Akojopo 88.7 FM Ibadan, the most listened to radio station. I am Olamide Badmos. First, the headlines. Tinubu appoints 3 Oyo indigents to Saviour Council. Accord uploads Oriyomi Hamzat's name to INEC portal as Oyo 2027 governorship candidate. Digital ID plan to be scrapped in Bonham's first major policy pledge. Hungary's president agrees to stand down after parliament backs removal. Rodri confident Spain can rise to challenge against Argentina. Now the details. President Bola Tinubu has approved the appointment of Moshood Akiwande as President of the Saviour's Council of Nigeria, alongside Olusoji Adeoye and Olaribibe Shinyobola as members of the Council representing Oyo State. This was confirmed in an appointment letter signed by the Permanent Secretary, General Service Office, Ibrahim Abubakar, on behalf of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, a copy of which was obtained by newsmen in Ibadan today. The letter partly read that the new council members will be inaugurated on Tuesday, July 21, 2026 at the SGF's Hall, Shehu Shagari Complex, 3 Zone, Abuja, as members cut across various interest groups, including representatives of the Nigerian Institution of Surveyors from the state, academic institutions offering surveying courses, the military, among others. The Accord Party has successfully uploaded the name of Alhaji Oriyomi Hamzat to the INEC portal as its gubernatorial candidate for Oyo State in the 2027 general election. According to a report filed by our correspondent, shortly after 2 p.m. today, Alhaji Hamzat's name was uploaded to INEC's official portal by the party. It will be recalled that there has been controversy surrounding Alhaji Oriyomi Hamzat and Honorable Kunle Busari, popularly known as Gudugudu, over who is the bona fide candidate of Accord. However, with this development, it is now confirmed that Alhaji Oriyomi Hamzat is the authentic governorship candidate of Accord for the forthcoming 2027 election in Oyo State. Sight is one of our most precious gifts, yet many people do not realize they are losing the ability to see clearly until it is too late. Glaucoma, often referred to as the silent thief of sight, and it affects millions of people worldwide and remains one of the leading causes of irreversible blindness. Akojopo FM News correspondent Yetunde Fadaiya examined what glaucoma is, who is at risk, and why early detection can save vision. Here is the report.
Glaucoma, also known as the silent thief of sight, is one of the oldest known eye diseases, with records of the condition dating back to ancient Greece, where the term glaucoma was first used to describe an eye disease that caused vision loss. Over the centuries, medical research has improved our understanding of the disease, leading to a better methods of diagnosis and treatment. Despite these advances, glaucoma remains one of the leading causes of irreversible blindness worldwide because many people do not experience symptoms until significant damage has already occurred. From Agidigbo News Survey, it was discovered that 60% of Nigerians are not aware of this eye disease, especially adults in their mid-30s and 40s. During an interview with a resident, she says all she knows about glaucoma is that it happens to the eyes and causes total blindness.
When people have it, later if it take a long time inside the eyes and you didn't quickly take care of it, or you didn't go to hospital to go and check up, at the end of the day, the two eyes can you start with one eye, not the two at the same time. After one eye, if you don't take care or go to the hospital, you come to the others, at the end of the day, it will go blind.
Mrs. Iyonda Florence also expatiated that if glaucoma is not treated on time, it affects both eyes and can eventually lead to blindness. A victim of this eye disease explained how she has been maintaining it from her childhood and advised victims like hers to always ensure they avoid it from going worse.
At class 3 glaucoma, and I'm still maintaining it till date. I can walk without glasses. I can do everything, but the disadvantage
With millions of people at risk and many unaware they have the condition, health experts continue to stress the importance of early detection through routine eye examinations. Speaking on the condition, causes, prevention, and care of glaucoma, an eye care specialist and optician, Mr. Bello Ridwan Babatunde, explained what glaucoma truly claims to be.
A class of disease, not just only one condition, a class of disease that affects the major pathway that gives vision to the eye. When we talk about pathway, we're talking about the connection between the eye and the brain. That is the point of attack for glaucoma. Glaucoma can affect young children, adults, old people. It can affect all age range. It's very difficult to pinpoint a symptom of glaucoma.
According to the expert, it affects children and individuals with a family history of glaucoma and those living with conditions such as diabetes and high blood pressure are more vulnerable to the disease. Finally, as health experts continue to raise awareness about the disease, the message remains clear. Early detection is the best defense against glaucoma. Routine eye checks and prompt treatment can help preserve sight and improve the quality of life for those affected. Yetunde Fadaya, Agidigbo FM News.
A pastor serving at Living Throne Chapel, Alariri, Ibadan, Apostle Wisdom Adedayo, has urged Christians to make God their guide in every aspect of life, describing him as the only one who shows the right way to man. Preaching on the topic, God who shows the way to man, he said God sends his servant into the world to heal the sick, deliver people from captivity, and direct humanity on the path of righteousness. According to Apostle Adedayo, although life is simple, people must understand and apply the principles of life before taking any step.
This life is simple, but what you need in life is principle. You need to know the principle of life before you do anything. That is why people are crying day and night. People are seeking the face of God for many help, but they don't know the principle of life. You have authority to have God to ask in anything you need. But one thing you need, you must know the principle of life.
Furthermore, Apostle Adedayo said Satan hates humanity and delights in seeing people suffer, but those who understand the principles of life and allow God to be the pathfinder will overcome every challenge. Now it is time to link up with our United Kingdom studio for the foreign news.
News from Kulamza Studio at Gidigbo FM, United Kingdom. I am Olushola Damilola. And the Boham will scrap plans for a government-issued digital ID for all British adults when he becomes Prime Minister tomorrow. Under Sir Keir Starmer, the government had already watered down proposals to introduce a mandatory digital ID for workers in the United Kingdom. Now, by dropping the plans entirely, Boham spokesperson said the time and resources that was going to be spent on a national ID scheme will go instead to where it's most needed, such as helping with the cost of living. The Office for Budget Responsibility estimated last November that the program will cost £1.8 billion over 3 years. At the time, Sir Keir Starmer argued that mandatory digital ID for workers will make it easier to clamp down on immigrants working illegally and it will modernize the states. However, in January, after nearly 3 million people signed a parliamentary petition opposing the introduction of digital IDs, the government changed its approach. Russia has launched one of its largest ballistic missile attacks against Kyiv. Ukraine Air Force said Moscow launched a massive combined strike using UAV and various types of air and ground launch missiles overnight, and that their main target was the capital, Kyiv. According to President Volodymyr Zelensky, Russia launched more than 40 missiles and more than 20 attack drones to Ukraine. However, strikes were reported in 5 districts of the capital, according to the state emergency services. And that ends the news from Kulamza Studio at Gidigbo FM, United Kingdom. I am Olushola Damilola.
Welcome back. We shall also be moving to our Maryland studio, United States, for more foreign news.
News from Kule Amzat Studio at Gidigbo FM, United States. I am Oluwatosin Sonya. The United States said it had completed an 8th straight night of attacks against Iran after earlier announcing that 2 U.S. military personnel were killed in Jordan, while U.S. allies in the region reported more Iranian attacks on Sunday. The U.S. and Iran have intensified attacks as an interim ceasefire deal signed a month ago has unraveled, and a struggle for control of the Strait of Hormuz has deepened, raising the risk of return to all-out hostilities. Israeli officials said Israel was preparing to receive more U.S. refueling aircraft after the recent escalation and ahead of a possible expansion of U.S. military operations against Iran. The conflict, which began when the U.S. and Israel launched strikes on Iran on February 28, hoping to disable its nuclear and missile programs and degrade its regional proxies, has led to major disruptions to energy supplies and fears over global inflation. Hungarian President Tamas Suyok has agreed to step down after signing a constitutional amendment that will bring his presidency to an end at midnight on Sunday. The amendment was pushed through Parliament by Prime Minister Peter Magy's Tisa party, which sought to remove Suyok, who has been long regarded as an ally of former Prime Minister Viktor Orban. Suyok had 5 days to sign the amendment or face a prolonged constitutional standoff and possible impeachment proceedings. He signed the measure shortly before the deadline expired on Saturday evening, but criticized the government's action, accusing it of undermining the rule of law. In a statement, Suyok described the amendment as a turning point for Hungary's constitution as democracy, arguing that the fundamental principles of a free society had been sacrificed for political gain. Hence Suyok's presidency, citing a serious loss of confidence in his leadership. And that has the news from Kuliamzat Studio at Gidigbo FM, United States. I am Oluwatosin Sonya.
Welcome back once again. Now in the exciting world of sports. Spain captain Rodri believes his side must produce its best performance yet to defeat defending champion Argentina in Sunday's World Cup final, saying La Roja has steadily built toward this moment over the past 5 years. Spain enters the final after winning the UEFA Nations League in 2023 and the European Championship in 2024. Achievements Rodri said laid the foundation for the team's run to its second World Cup final. Spain has conceded just 1 goal in 7 matches during the tournament, including a 2-0 semi-final victory over France, while outscoring opponents 13-1 since an opening draw against Cape Verde. Meanwhile, Spain coach Luis de la Fuente dismissed concerns over the fitness of teenage star Lamine Yamal after the winger trained with his left thigh wrapped following a knock suffered against France. The 23rd edition of the FIFA World Cup final is slated for 8 p.m. Nigerian time today in MetLife Stadium, New Jersey. To wrap up the news this evening, here is a recap of the headlines. Tinubu appoints 3 Oyo indigenes to Savio Council. Accord uploads Oriyomi Amzat's name to INEC portal as Oyo 2027 governorship candidate. Digital ID plan to be scrapped in Bonhams' first major policy pledge. Hungary's president agrees to stand down after parliament backs removal. Rodri confident Spain can rise to challenge against Argentina.
Don't forget that you can listen to us live on our website www.agidigbo88.7fm.com. You can also download our mobile app on Google Play Store and iOS. Simply search for Agidigbo 88.7 FM. Follow us on Facebook at Agidigbo 88.7 FM, on Twitter and Instagram at Agidigbo 887 FM, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you have news stories and tips for us, contact our newsroom on 070-8714-4865 or send us a mail on newsroom@agidigbo887fm.com.
And before we go this evening, here is a quick tip. Thinking will not overcome fear, but action will. Finally, we have come to the end of the news around the world on Agidigbo 88.7 FM Ibadan, the most listened to radio station. I am Olamide Badmos. Thank you for listening. Good evening.
News is information, and information is power. At Agidigbo 88.7 FM, we bring the news from top to bottom.
The Oyo State Independent Electoral Commission (OISEC) has called for continuous collaboration.
We bring you reports from Oyo State.
The Oyo State House of Assembly has called for thorough investigation.
Southwest Nigeria and the rest of the world.
Has clarified that the body did not receive any cash support from international development.
Trust us to keep you informed every hour